And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Welcome to Open Connection. I'm your host, Robert Pictou. Intergenerational or transgenerational trauma is what happens when untreated trauma-related stress experienced by survivors is passed on to second and subsequent generations. The trauma inflicted by residential schools in the 60s scoop was significant, and the scope of the damage that these events wrought wouldn't be truly understood until years later. On today's Open Connection, we discover how Bell's Let's Talk is making a change in one First Nations community.
This is the largest Mi'kmaq community, over 4,500 people.
It's just a beautiful place, and the people are just incredible here.
Like something happens, the whole community comes together. If you look back at the past, how much has happened in this community, the amounts of loss, the amounts of trauma with the residential schools, everything at the 60s scoop.
There's colonialism, there's racism, discrimination.
A legacy of colonization, intergenerational trauma.
There's also strength, resiliency, joy, great generosity.
The community is one of the most resilient people that I've ever seen.
Ever since we had our crisis in 2009 with the rash of suicides, it was up to us as a community to come together to heal. Our mental health team tripled from our community members, and we opened up a crisis line and we never closed ever since.
I do see people dealing with anxiety and depression and ADHD and autism and borderline personality disorder. Transgender individuals not feeling safe because of the lateral violence that happens due to these issues that in the community.
A lot of the clients are so comfortable talking to me. I've been through drug addiction, I've been through abuse, I've been through foster home, I've been through the system, I've been through it all. It really does, it means a lot to me. I feel like I can give back what was given to us.
I was going through a hard time and I used to self-harm and stuff. And my mom got worried about me. And then she told me I should start counseling. You could talk about everything really, at once. Me, it was first with depression and then the anger. It just helped me with all of it really.
We know through research that most mental health issues show up between the ages of 11 to 25, and we also know the earlier we can intervene, the better you have outcomes in the long run.
I had a lot of loss in my life. I lost my father, my brother, my stepbrother, all within 2 years. My mother, she's been working here for 24 years. Growing up, I was always a part of Eskazoni Mental Health. I was able to gain skills on coping as a young kid. For me, it kind of shaped who I am and where I am today. I knew I wanted to be here. I know I wanted to work with our people. I know I wanted to work within our community. I was one of the first Mi'kmaq speaking behavioral interventionists in Nova Scotia. And to me, that means so much.
We have peer support, lived experience, baccalaureate levels, paraprofessionals, we have master's levels, we have PhD levels. And it's a way of being able to share knowledge across professions. And every person is granted the same respect.
We also have to take the indigenous ways of healing and put that first. And that means treating people as a whole and treating the community as the whole. We have to include the youth voices. Through Access Open Minds, we have a youth council, and from the design of the building to the programs to how they want to see services laid out, we have taken their advice and put it into action. They've created programs now where I can go to them and have a partner. Hey, I got this kid who's struggling. She's going to come to gamer night this week. Make sure you take care of her.
We have a few where they wouldn't even want to speak to other kids their age, or not even leaving their home, let alone barely come to appointments, who are now attending programs. Sometimes they're hey, can I come early?
Here, if you're doing well, you're still welcome to come through the door because we want to keep you doing well. And how do we offer programs to lift the community up?
Meet them where they're at. If that means that you're going for a drive, if that means that you're going to go play outside,
We have the crisis as well as comfort line that's open 24/7. We also have the residential school survivor team, the case management team, the adult team, and the youth team.
It's just perfect to have this one place where you can get it all. I think that's like the best thing ever.
So you're just collaborating with so many other people.
I can't say enough what that has done for their confidence, for their ability to move forward, for hope for the future, that things can get better.
I'm proud that when times are tough, that our community always comes together.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Thank you for staying with us. Access Open Mind service sites provide easy, quick, and welcoming place for youth age 11 to 25 to get the help they need. Let us return to the conversation as one rural Francophone community shares how Access has made a difference.
J'avais beaucoup d'anxiété.
J'ai toujours eu des difficultés sociales. J'étais très en colère.
Dû à ma dépression, je faisais beaucoup de crises d'anxiété, puis je me faisais du mal.
L'anxiété sociale, les difficultés à l'école.
On est une agence principalement de counseling pour tout le territoire de la péninsule acadienne. On accompagne les familles pour différents défis qu'ils peuvent vivre, donc à travers de la thérapie, counseling.
Ici, le programme Access, on dessert la communauté de 11 à 25 ans. Le jeune, quand il fait la demande, il peut soit avoir du counseling, fait que c'est de la thérapie individuelle, de l'accompagnement terrain, fait que c'est de pouvoir aller soit faire de la recherche d'emploi. L'intervenant, il peut l'apporter au service qui est offert aussi, qu'on retrouve dans la région.
On a des bureaux satellites dans les différentes régions parce que la péninsule acadienne est une région rurale. C'est un très grand territoire. Les gens n'ont pas toujours des moyens de transport. On n'a pas de transport en commun. On aime dire qu'on est des intervenants à valise.
On va à la rencontre des jeunes. Des fois, ils sont beaucoup isolés. Des fois, c'est l'anxiété. Des fois, c'est la dépression.
On peut se rendre directement les voir, on peut aller les chercher ou on peut aller les rejoindre ainsi qu'ils peuvent se rendre à un point et ce qui est plus facile pour eux autres.
Les jeunes sont vus quand ils en ont vraiment besoin.
Les intervenants nous ont donné beaucoup d'outils pour nous aider à gérer notre stress.
Ils vont hors de leur chemin pour faire sûr que le jeune est content, en santé. Access a trouvé d'autres façons de t'aider, d'autres outils, d'autres outside the box thinking, des façons de t'aider.
T'es pas dans un bureau gris, assis dans une chaise, confortable mais pas vraiment, avec une horloge qui go. Pendant 1 heure de temps, l'intervenant t'attend. Puis la seconde que t'es prêt à t'ouvrir, ben, il est là. Il est là. Puis c'est ça qui est spécial.
On a vraiment besoin de travailler ensemble puis mettre le jeune ou la famille au centre de notre intervention.
On accompagne les parents, on les écoute, on les rassure, on les dirige. Ça fait que ça les aide beaucoup puis ça les soulage.
Moi, j'utilise ces services, ça fait déjà 3 ans. Même au point de vue parent, c'est des outils autant pour nous que pour l'enfant. On se sent pas seul dans qu'est-ce qu'on est en train de passer à travers.
Une porte grande ouverte pour aider mon fils. Lorsque j'avais des craintes, des doutes, je pouvais les contacter n'importe quand. C'est un programme avec plein de compassion.
Le programme Access, c'est un programme pour les jeunes, par les jeunes. Fait qu'on a besoin comme de leurs idées puis de savoir ce que eux autres ont besoin.
Je suis assis sur 4 comités d'Access, 2 locaux, 1 provincial, 1 national.
Ils nous disent un peu ce qu'ils ont besoin comme intervention, ce qu'ils aimeraient qu'il se passe dans le programme. Ils vont nous dire un peu quelle sorte d'activité qu'ils veulent avoir.
C'est des jeunes qui ont vécu des défis avec leur santé mentale, puis c'est des jeunes qui ont cheminé beaucoup. Ça fait que ça devient un peu comme des pères aidants, puis ils s'impliquent beaucoup parce que ça leur tient à cœur.
Et nous, ce qu'on a décidé de faire, c'est une programmation d'ateliers. Notre première expérience a été juste wow! Qu'un jeune très anxieux était capable de prendre sa guitare, sa base, puis décider, moi, je me plug, puis je veux montrer ce que je sais faire. On a vu vraiment l'évolution de quelques jeunes juste à partir de cette première expérience-là.
Dans l'hiver, on fait de la raquette. L'été, on fait la plage. Les jeunes, je trouve qu'ils ont besoin de ça aujourd'hui, les jeunes, de vivre ces moments-là.
On fait aussi des ateliers café-causerie. On a des thèmes spécifiques, comme exemple l'intimidation, l'anxiété. Les jeunes vont pouvoir poser leurs questions, puis ça les aide à apprendre l'enfant à gérer les choses qu'eux autres vivent.
Toutes les activités qu'on a eues, c'était vraiment appréciable. J'ai pu mieux voir qu'en fin de compte, je me suis fait accepter par les gens, que je pouvais enfin sortir de ma coquille, de mon anxiété qui me causait souvent à me fermer.
Quand on voit un jeune qui est isolé, puis qui vient à nos activités, puis qui est timide au début, mais qu'après tu le vois y aller avec les autres jeunes, puis qui sourit, qui est accepté, puis qui prend sa place.
Le lien que les jeunes peuvent créer avec les autres jeunes, de voir qu'ils ne sont pas tout seuls à vivre les défis qu'ils vivent tout de suite.
Pourquoi pas de travailler le défi en vivant quelque chose de positif?
Ça a été prouvé par différentes recherches que d'avoir des services à proximité, des services qui vont vers les gens, peut empêcher des coûts d'hospitalisation, des coûts de spécialistes. C'est un investissement. Je pense que ça fait une communauté beaucoup plus en santé.
C'est une famille à Access.
J'ai été dans énormément de programmes dans ma vie. C'est quelque chose d'autre, c'est un niveau au-dessus.
C'est un accès à un futur qui est vraiment un beau futur.
C'est un programme qui tient la main.
Un poteau. Un poteau, un soutien, puis ils sont là vraiment à tout moment.
Je peux dire que ça a changé ma vie complètement.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Whether you help your father deal with the emotional impact of losing his independence, or you help your partner deal with depression after losing his father. When it comes to mental health, now more than ever, every action counts.
Welcome back to Open Connection. Access is a national youth mental health network made up of dedicated individuals from across the country that are passionate about youth mental health systems change. Let us return to the conversation as we hear from some of those making that change.
I wasn't in a good space.
La vie était souffrante pour moi.
First, like with depression and then the anger.
On se sent vraiment isolé, on se sent tout seul au monde.
It sucks to be alone and hurt.
I do see people dealing with anxiety and depression.
Ça peut être pour la consommation.
Des séparations avec copains, copines, des journées que ça va moins bien à l'école, des fois c'est des crises familiales.
75% of people who ever have mental illness start in the age between 12 and 25. There was never anything designed for this age group.
Quand on arrive à 18 ans, la loi dit tu es majeur. Les services sont très différents entre l'enfance et l'adulte.
Our system for supporting young people is divided into all of these separate streams of services, and young people often don't know where to go. Your family doctor makes a referral or a recommendation, and then you sit on a wait list for like 6 months.
Families come very burdened and exhausted.
When you take somebody to hospital, they're assessed, triaged. If they don't require an admission, they don't get anything most of the time.
Souvent, les jeunes, c'est très dans le ici et maintenant, donc quand j'ai besoin d'un service, c'est là que j'en ai besoin.
With an integrated model of service, what we're doing is we're creating sort of a one-stop shop model of care so that young people can walk up to one door, they can step through that door and say, you know, I'm having a really hard time.
The vision was a really simple one. Could we pull the services or the resources that young people and their families needed into one space so that young people would actually feel like they're being supported by a team?
Allowing that person to just tell their story once.
The energy should really be spent on getting better, not trying to find a service.
To be able to access things like housing, education, income support, all of those things in one location.
Developing a system that has youth at the center and has the capacity to have family there as a support is really critical.
When we build our centers, young people are part of the co-design.
C'est des environnements qui sont super relaxants, apaisants.
They wanted to have an experience that was warm and welcoming and didn't feel like going to the doctors.
Like less clinical way to approach mental health, and like it's a lot less intimidating for people.
T'es pas dans un bureau gris, assis dans une chaise, confortable mais pas vraiment, avec une horloge qui go.
There will be no judgment, no shame, and you're just gonna have a really nice, safe place to even just open up about what's going on.
S'il y a besoin d'aller voir le psychiatre justement parce que ça va pas, mais il est pas certain comment expliquer tout ça, on va aller avec lui.
I can go to court with you. You want me to advocate to get you back into school? We are there.
It's just perfect to have this one place where you can get it all, you know, and that's just, I think that's like the best thing ever.
C'est d'écouter le jeune, de l'entendre, d'entendre ses réels besoins. Ça change toute l'intervention, ça change tous les résultats que ça peut donner.
What I have found in every other system I've worked in as a psychologist is that you feel alone. I have a team approach now. I can go to them and have a partner. Hey, I got this kid who's struggling. She's gonna come to gamer night this week. Make sure you take care of her.
You're just collaborating with so many other people, like you're connecting them through so many different supports. If that means that you're going for a drive, if that means that you're gonna go play outside.
Puis ça les aide à apprendre, dans le fond, à gérer les choses qu'eux autres vivent.
On a vu vraiment l'évolution de quelques jeunes. Pourquoi pas de travailler le défi en vivant quelque chose de positif?
Youth engagement really means getting young people meaningfully involved in the services that they're benefiting from.
On a vraiment besoin de travailler ensemble pour puis mettre le jeune ou la famille au centre de notre intervention.
There is a better way. If we can engage them early on in a positive relationship, it changes the whole trajectory.
Young people need to feel like their community is looking out for them.
We are invested in you, and we're going to show you how to invest in yourself.
The integrated model is the best model, a beacon of hope for families.
I can't say enough what that has done for their confidence, for their ability to move forward, for hope for the future.
C'est la bonne porte. C'est une place de confiance.
It's not just a place for you to go when you feel sad. It's also a place for you to go to get your strength too.
You know, I just felt like I belonged and I didn't feel judged one bit. You just feel like you're totally accepted and they genuinely care about you and truly care and want to listen to you.
C'est vraiment quelque chose qui sauve des vies par la suite, je pense.
Open Connection will be right back after these messages. And now, from the CFTK-TV studios, this is Open Connection with your host, Robert Pictou.
Whether you're supporting a psychiatric patient who is slowly recovering, or you're visiting your aunt who's struggling with symptoms of anxiety, when it comes to mental health, now more than ever, every action counts.
Since 1973, the Alex has provided thoughtful, comprehensive care to vulnerable Calgarians, with clinical and social components included in almost all their programs. In this final segment of Open Connection, we discover effective care means being at the right place at the right time.
I had such low self-confidence and like a lot of self-hatred.
We're dealing with a lot of trauma day in and day out. The majority of our youth are scared, angry, and they're not doing okay.
I was really, really scared. It sucks to be alone and hurt.
You'll see kids come in just incredibly difficult situations and that have been trying and kind of jumping around for quite a while. We're just using more resources over a longer period of time when we're not helping youth become integrated in their communities and kind of covering all the social and the medical all at once. For a lot of youth, it's really scary to come in and to ask for help and that they might not come back. So you want to really kind of cover everything while they're here and to help build like that trust and relationship. We've got 5 psychologists and we also have 2 psychiatrists that come a few times a month. In the long term, you'll see that there's like less impact on all those resources because kids are getting proper care initially.
I moved to Calgary because my family's here and I was 8 months pregnant and I just wanted to be around family and friends. The moment I walked in, like the leader of the parenting group, she welcomed me right away. You know, I just felt like I belonged and I didn't feel judged one bit, especially struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. There's so much support here and I see a counselor here and she really helps me just enjoy life and just being able to cope.
Come on in. This is the Alex Community Health Bus.
We find lots of our youth are kind of apprehensive to go to parents with mental health, sexual health stuff. So that's kind of where we come in. So they can access us super easily through their guidance counselor, through the school, pop on out and see us, and we can kind of take care of whatever issues they're dealing with.
Students wanting to talk about or ask for support or ask questions about their mental health, lots of anxiety, some depression, and then sexual health. So we do lots of STI testing, lots of pregnancy tests. They're also welcome to come on for social, economic, other concerns that are going on in their life. We can also support them with. The majority of them don't drive, maybe are not super fluent with how to use the transit system. Sometimes there's also a financial barrier.
As their first visit, I'll give them a bunch of different resources. We try to be really, welcoming and non-judgmental.
I think what makes our service really amazing is that there's no shame, there's no judgment. You're just gonna have a really nice, safe place to even just open up about what's going on.
Seeing them more connected and kind of engaged in life, like getting a job, being more social, making friends, going to school.
It feels like family here. It's really accepting. Like, you just feel like you're totally accepted and people are here to listen and people ask you how you're doing and they genuinely care about you and truly care and want to listen to you. Myself and I think so many people are scared to have connection, like real connection. Like sometimes I want to isolate and then just coming to the Alex just really helps me be a part of a community.
It's pretty special and I think that's like why we're able to keep doing the work that we do.
It's so worth it to reach out and to ask for help. And honestly helps so much being here and you don't have to feel alone anymore.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Open Connection. The greatest distance in the existence of man is not from here to there, but the connection from his mind to his heart. If we can conquer that distance, we can soar like an eagle and realize our immensity within. I'm Robert Pictou.